Hello.
Is he out there?
Does this thing
Do these things still work?
did this thing ever really work to begin with?
I don't know if somebody. This is also new to us.
Get some.
Don't know if we can figure it out. Let's see.
I blame Dell.
I blame Dell too because he's not here.
Exactly.
But he went to the movies. There we go, live now. Let's see what it looks like.
I hear some audio.
And we don't know how well this is going to come across because we speed goes because I'm paying for one thing and definitely not getting what I'm paying for.
Yeah, Manny's getting 1 megabit per second
Off.
That's kind of
And not only that, but I've pretty much been sitting here all day trying to figure out how to get YouTube to work. And then Dustin comes over with his updated computer and gets it going.
Any on the phone. Hey, man, is your computer updated? Yeah, man, I've updated all the updates. I come over here. It's all updated for the 1924 computer he's got. Like, yeah, it's time to update.
Yeah, it was funny because Dustin, he went to wherever he went to on my laptop and he pulled up what operating system it was. I don't know how to do that. And he chuckled and he laughed a little bit. So I know I have an old
I was laughing
operating
at
system.
Manny, not with Manny.
But the thing is, like, does that mean I have to go buy new shit? Like, I don't want to buy a brand new laptop. This thing was expensive,
bro.
And it's only been 5 years.
It's been longer than that. That's like a 2011 model, man.
Oh, so I bought it old.
It's all bent. It's all messed up.
That's from the travel. I mean, we didn't do podcasts here in the house all the time. We had to get out, and
that's true.
Hopefully it's stored on YouTube.
Hey, it looks like.
I don't know
how long they're gonna last.
I don't know how long they're gonna last. Anyway, my house. Sorry,
only the ladies.
And they haven't been here in over a month. I think we're overdue.
Bro, we lost our one listener.
Oh man, I'm so heartbeat. I'm so heartbroken.
Let's go.
But I mean, we're good or not, I don't know.
They might have given up on us.
They might have.
I know Swan did.
It may be, Swan is 1-2 the Astros early, and Swan would go find something better to do.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm done with this.
It speaks to the mentality of a fan. Like a lot of 2018 was doom and gloom because of injuries and record and wins. So.
But does that really mean anything if you didn't make the playoffs? Or I mean, if you didn't advance to the World Series?
Oh, absolutely. I think when teams make it to the World Series,
do you think if healthy that they would have made it to the show? I mean, we find out in retrospect that Correa's got his back and knee. Springer just
they did
right.
I'm not the team. When you got a guy like when Bradley gets 3 hits in a series, but ends up with 9, 10 RB, crazy like that. Yeah. You just got his left leg, right? His lead,
lead leg.
So sticking. And I never really, and quite honestly, I never understood.
I ain't mad about it.
If what is the saying? If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
It's something along those lines.
So I know you and I kind of went back and forth on Twitter the other day about greatest need.
Yeah.
And specifically for one guy, do you throw the money at Bryce Harper or Dallas Keuchel?
Well, I mean, if those are the only two you're choosing,
those are the only two options.
Okay, then I throw it at Bryce Harper because he's an everyday player.
I agree
by a bit. I mean, a whole lot. Like that guy's overrated. He's overhyped. He's overrated because he
didn't hit it over 250 last year.
Yeah, he's only finished. I can't remember. He led the league in slugging 1 year, league in OP. So, yeah, I mean, and the only reason why I would give him the money in that situation is because hopefully with guys around him like Altuve, Springer, Correo, Yuli, um, Salvador Perez, who I still believe is going to be our opening day catcher.
All right.
I think it would help him along. I think he would get in that lineup as a not having guys like that around him in the lineup.
Right.
But not only that, I think AJ Hinch. If we go back and look at it, one criticism I have of AJ Hinch on our fastballs and trying to spot it,
right,
it's like throwing batting practice. And I think that had, but if you go back and look, nice in the Astros' favor as opposed to being 97 for 2 days and then getting a tee off on 90.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I wouldn't have pitched him in game 3. I wouldn't have, and that's where come in.
So you would have pitched, you would have gone Verlander, Cole, Morton.
Keuchel would have been relegated to the bullpen if we're being honest.
You want a spot pitcher in the bullpen?
Because I think
they're going to tee off on you in the bullpen.
Well, now here's the difference. Here's a different dynamic. Think about it. If you face Verlander for 6 and you're eating 97 and you have Keuchel come in the 7th and he's being able to spot and use his curveball and use his finesse within a game, you can take advantage of that. You can throw hitters' timing off.
Yeah.
But over a series, whereas this and this and this, and then they get on the day that Keuchel's going to start, they're more capable of adjusting to that our fastball throw. They get to go to batting practice. They get to prepare for it as opposed to throwing them out there in the thick of things.
Right.
And now they go from an inning before facing Verlander hitting 97 to their very next at bat. They're trying to who's finessing his pitches over the plate and spotting them well and things like that. I think the effect against opposing hitters would have been greater in game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the starting pitching for the Astros last year. I really did. When McCullers went down, you got screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You got really screwed. I would have actually put Cole. I would have gone Verlander, Keuchel, Cole, and then Charlie Morton, because I do think there's the whole left-handed and then the speed thing. There's a bunch of different dynamics. You got to get used to Verlander, then you got to adjust used to a Cole. That's what I would have done. But you know what? AJ Hinch, I'm sure, had a ton of numbers supporting exactly what he did.
And that's not a bad idea either. Instead of dropping him down to 4 or moving him up to 2, was it a case of not wanting to hurt feelings? Was it a case of, we don't know. We don't know why it went the way that it went, but even moving him up and seeing what him in between Verlander and Cole would have been more effective post facing 2 days of 97 going into the 3rd day and facing 90. So
yeah, I don't disagree. Lamont is in.
Coming. It does.
Yeah, everything's a mess. We were late getting on. It feels like home.
It feels like this is the first time all over again.
It really, except for Dell. We don't have a Dell.
We don't have Dell. Dell went to go see Spider.
So Dell's watching cartoons,
and he shot me a text back and said, "Man, I'm at the theater. I'm not gonna be able to go." So that's cool. I understand. Proud of Dell, man. The guy's made a name for himself here in Houston.
He has,
and it's deserving.
I was thinking about the other day because Granado, he was doing a thing with Paul Gallant yesterday at noon with Patty Smith. Those 3 were doing something. And it was on the until 11 straight. And then I was thinking, Dell is on the air from 7 to 11 straight. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's good, man.
Oh, and by the way, let me say this. I love what 97 ESPN has done since the Yahoo days, since the 15, 60 days. I think they've hit their stride. They're number 1, blah, blah, blah. We know all that. But pisses me off. They were just starting to hit a stride. And I'm not just saying that because when we do this pod, get there. No, you won't. We're not mad at you, but we just think you made the wrong decision.
But we just ask why.
We just want to know. We want answers.
So getting back on the Astros,
look, I tan on and Garrett Cole till mid-January, and I freaking remember everybody freaking out at this time last year saying anything. you got another number one last year in mid January.
Yep.
If this roster looks the way it does in March that it does today, I'll freak out. Anything yet? We're gonna win a World Series in 5 years. Guess what? We won a freaking World Series in 5 years. Watched a few games this year. We've got a lot of talent down there, pitching wise.
Mhm.
So I do think we need another pitcher. It still would not surprise me at all if isn't signed and no one's really pursuing him and he goes down on the price. It wouldn't surprise me to see him back.
They bring him back.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't mind it if it's not preventing to shell out some money for that or give up some good prospects for that. But the world does not fall. It's not even Christmas.
Yeah,
we're panicked.
Not at all. And the reason why I'm not panicked is just like you said, because the guys who did get signed, who were I would consider like get signed, they all went to the National League.
Yeah.
Like everybody bringing in these guys, they all went to the National League. So all this talent is moving out of the into the National League, which is going to dilute the American. Probably means we're looking at, an Astros, Indians, Yankees, Red Sox race. Like, oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And I mean, a lot of people are saying that A's are going to fall back to the. That's probably the only thing I disagree with. I think the A's are a solid ball club. I think they're, with the roster that they have now, it's a good thing that off the board, they're still out there.
Yeah.
And the teams that we know they're not going to do that. And yet
gotten me up in arms lately. This whole trade prospects. I went and looked at all his transactions in the past 4 years. Luno does trade prospects just because there's one or two that are untouchable. And by the way, I completely agree with him. I'm probably one of the few that have actually seen Forrest Whitley pitch. Let me say this. You can't guarantee anyone's going to translate to the main, but if you had some qualifications of someone that, hey, this guy's going to make it, it's going to be this kid. This kid has 5 pitches.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's pretty nasty with them all.
Too. Oh my God, he's good. Like the
good.
movement on that ball is just. I'm also good with Tucker to be untradeable. Fine, Tucker to be untradeable. Would I trade him if I got the right deal? Probably.
Yeah, I would trade
him. But I also know that 3 months of season doesn't make. Right.
All of being with the big club and playing in those games, which.
Well, remember, it's not just the big club. It's the world.
That obviously makes it an even more, I guess, strenuous situation for a guy that young. But, you have guys that long in the moment and go about their business and do what needs to be done in the moment, like an Alex Bregman. It took him, was it 22 at bats or whatever, for him to finally start to turn it around and get going and to end up an MVP candidate here. Guys like Kyle Tucker, who it may take a little longer, but his swing is so long.
Yes.
That's the only thing that worries me. That's the only thing that worries me.
Yeah. I didn't like his. He just. I hate the idea that we judge people whether they're hustling or not. I don't see a professional player not hustling just because they don't look like they are. That could completely be perception, but he was still some bad routes. Now, Minute Maid Park has a jacked up left field.
Right.
So there's a lot playing into this whole thing, the whole Ted Williams comparison. The kid's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
So,
but it may turn out that he's one of these guys that looks just completely and totally relaxed while giving max effort.
Right.
Like King Griffey Jr., his swing was so lazy and relaxed and hit it 400.
The most beautiful swing ever.
And even when he was tracking fly balls in the outfield, it didn't look like he was going all out. But I mean, obviously he was. Maybe, and I'm in no way, he may be that type of player to where it just doesn't look like, man, how did he do that? It doesn't even look like he tried. He makes it look so easy. You hear things about certain players like that all the time.
Right.
Like Sam Perkins was the same way in basketball. Just didn't look like he was putting out 100% effort when in fact he was. He was just so smooth. There's no way to be happy, or I'm happy that they didn't, like I said, they didn't jump in feet first and do something rash and do something out of character for them. So
if everybody comes back healthy, you still have a healthy core. I mean, that infield is just stupid.
yes, it is sick.
Now, if they could
It's
have,
ridiculous.
if they could have gotten Goldie from Arizona, can you imagine Goldie, Altuve?
Then I'm surprised because Goldschmidt is like the typical St. Louis first baseman. Like
He really is.
McGuire, you
Yeah.
have Pujol, so that was no surprise there. But I would have loved to have seen him in an Astros uniform. That would have been like you said, just not really excited about the thought of Yuli becoming the new utility player.
Marwin, he is not
really excited.
We're probably going to be the biggest loss of the offseason.
And even then, man, how do we know this guy's going to go? Because everybody's talking about absolute Marwin's gone. He's not going to sign here. He's gone. I don't know, man. I think especially the Latin players, there's a level of loyalty.
You know where I could see him going? Tampa. Got money.
I mean, they
got a 6 starting rotation, and you got that.
Yeah, I mean, they could pay him, but I don't know, man. Something tells me he's not going to take a home discount deal by any means. But I think
nor should he.
Nor should he. But what he does end up with is going to be like, I think it'll be surprising to most. Like, man, we really thought he could get paid more.
Yeah.
And for him to take what he did to stay with the Astros means, blah 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 blah. I don't know him going anywhere. I think he's going to stay here. I think he's going to stay here. I think they're going to move Reddick. I think Reddick's going to be involved in a deal.
Can you move that contract? I mean, who would want to take that?
Man, somebody. He's on his last year, right?
No, I think he's got 2 more.
2 more years. Well, I mean, if you're a team that's it's on the years and turn that into another signing or another in the next, because I mean, let's face it, baseball people don't think about 2019.
Right.
They're thinking about 2021 and 2020, especially teams like the Rangers, especially teams like, Colorado, Tampa Bay is another good one.
Yeah.
The Orioles, they can't be any worse. The Mets.
Well, and you know who Baltimore has? Jeff Luno's right-hand man now. All these Astros guys that put this club together, they're all dispersed in all these other clubs now.
A lot of front office people left,
Yeah, way to train them up, but now you're going to see them using the Luno's been using. Forget that going for you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really curious to see what the roster looks like on opening day, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. What I know and who I know is staying for 2019, I'm like, let's run it back. Let's go again.
Don't say run it back. Don't ever say. Well, Hunt says, you know why Marwin is staying, and that vibe. He was at the Texans game. That's a fact.
I mean, that's a fact, and that's a good point. But I've felt all along that Marwin, like, the only way I see Marwin Gonzalez living is if the Astros all and he comes out. I wanted to stay in Houston, but they didn't offer me nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't even make a play. So, which is not very Astros like.
Right.
It's very Texans like. It's very Rockets like. It's not Astros like. The game was good and warmed my heart.
He couldn't get out of 4 innings for several games towards the end.
Right.
But go get your money, bro.
Yep.
Good for you. Go get paid. But Marwin, to me, is a completely different story.
Yep.
Lamont's going to like this. Marwin is the glue, Lamont.
He's the glue guy.
He is the glue guy.
He is the glue guy. That is. I mean, we've made fun of it in the past and all that good stuff, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's exactly what he is.
Yeah, I mean, he can spot up anywhere. He can hit anywhere in the order.
Anywhere in the line.
He's the glue guy.
He is the glue guy. Ships that he's built in the clubhouse. Like I often wonder. Behind this team, guys, really, Charlie Morton's a great teammate, one of the great friends he's ever had, and this and that. Like, I wonder if there's a little envy towards Astros front office. You know, I mean, you can't blame the guy for taking 2 years, 30 million. But did you see the way that contract was structured?
Yeah.
If he doesn't stay healthy, he's not getting paid.
No. And if he gets traded, he's getting paid.
Right.
Subsection for both of them in there. It's an interesting contract. They're not totally sold on him being completely healthy.
I don't think so either.
Not
But
a
I
chance.
think maybe their line of thinking was, well, we can do this and get him away from the Astros. That's a win.
Right.
You know, because if he spends most of the season on IR, owes money because we don't have to pay
Right.
Reeds. And not only that, he's not pitching for the Astros anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, props to Tampa Bay and what they did and how they.
It's a good move for Tampa.
I mean, it tells me that if Morton took that deal with all those stipulations that the Astros didn't offer him,
right?
Which again, I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You know, like you said, he can get through 4, stay healthy,
right?
And you know,
him and Keuchel kind of had the same but complete opposite, right?
Complete opposites, yeah.
Keuchel couldn't do anything. Finally got him. Morton won almost every game his first 2 to 3 months, but when he came back, he couldn't get it right.
Right.
So they almost kind of canceled each other out. What about the reaction of Brian McCann? I remember being on here and was so much more value than any number he could put up just because of his batting average. And I have never seen an Astro leave, you know, someone that's in free agency go somewhere else, be so revered by his teammates ever. Like, that wasn't just fake PR stuff that players were putting out there. That was
they love the guy,
heartfelt stuff.
And
good for Brian home in
I think
started.
I think I would his contract if they ever released it, because I think we saw a significant decline in his production and his health. And as we all know, long catcher, it's pretty much over.
Right.
I mean, you're looking at a guy who can probably DH, but there's no DH in the NL.
Right.
So
I think they just brought him home.
I think you brought him back, and they want him to finish his career. Understandable. But I don't see getting very much out of Brian McCann.
No. He's gonna be the Beltron key role in this whole deal. Then you got to ask yourself, okay, who's that guy now?
Well, that's the thing. It could be Marwin if he stays, only he'd be a more productive Beltran. If Marwin does leave, man, I mean, I don't think it would be Justin Verlander, simply because he's so to himself. You know, and he's got his and you know what he talks to him on game day and blah blah blah.
Same with Cole.
You know, same with Garrett Cole. Yeah, that's a great question, man. That's a great question. Having to find that one, the intangibles to the clubhouse to keep everybody level-headed, to, you know, talk to the youngsters. Man, that's a good one.
So here's my hot take. For Springer right now.
Who are you getting in return?
I don't know. Just put him out there.
Man.
Are you happy with that ball? You like that, Rhino? He wanted a hot take. There's my hot take. Get Springer out of here now.
Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I understand why some people would want to do that, but man,
don't get in your feels about this.
No. I'm not. I mean, you would have to bring back. I mean, it would be huge. It would have to be huge. You can't get rid of him for prospects. It would have to be 1 or 2 major leaguers right now.
I would want a starting pitcher.
And I was going to say, one of them would have to be a starter.
He's going to be my Garrett Cole type deal. Like, man, I think the Astros are going to trade for a starting pitcher. They're not going to
piss the line, I think. And
I know it. Man. Well, I blame Ball. He wanted me to make a hot take. There's my hot take.
I think
the ladies aren't going to like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you could replace with on-base production, your little work count on the game, especially leading off games on the road. You know, no matter the outcome. I mean, obviously we want him to get a base hit.
Right.
We want him to hit a home run. All that good stuff from the. I had to do that. He goes up there. He works the count. You know, his ability to
Who did more for you this year, Kemp or
100 games or whatever it was? 100.
He was out for a while.
Yeah, he was out for a while. Again, can Tony Kemp sustain that? We don't know.
More accurate field from Tony Kemp.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. That guy's good. Hey, Tony Kemp is a ball player, man. And it's funny because I really believe Tony Kemp would have an easier time playing left field than he would center field because he has less room to cover.
Right. This
a lot. I think it's funny because everyone looked at everyone's number. Okay, well now that they've had a regular offseason to get healthy, it'll be interesting to see that. And your Springer back in the deal, right? 2 years at $12 million, 2 years 20.
So he's restricted free agent. So he's arbitrary here, and then next year our
Diaz. I think there's a couple of years,
right?
Chicago, St. Louis, the backs,
the old
Rockies.
Teams are back. It feels like 90s baseball.
Absolutely, and I think, I feel like
Atlanta's got a good team again.
I think Colorado's time is coming. Like I think
it's here.
What's going on here?
Right,
because I really like that kid. Their center fielder Blackman. Take him on my team of the week, and that guy is a beast. He's so, and not just because he was funny. I got in a conversation with somebody. I was like, "Well, he plays at Coors Field." Like, bro, I think he had one more home run on because the guy is a natural born home run hitter.
So our internet apparently goes in and out still, and Swan would like to know, how can you try and make it come back all on? Come on, man, you do better. I mean, she's got a point.
Hey, listen, first time in a long time. We know what needs to happen. We know it needs to be fixed.
You should have seen us scrambling or trying to fix mess.
Can't. I mean, we had to move 2 tripods. That's it. But
so let's be honest. This was all a last minute deal.
No.
Like I threw a text to Manny last night and said, "Hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow night?" It's like, I'm gonna give back with you the Ethernet cable. It was a telephone line, so
yeah, it was a telephone line.
Lamont would have been fine with that cable, but it doesn't work for Ethernet.
It does. So there you go.
You're Texans, man. What are you?
Well, I'm thinking for as long as he wants, and I think Paul Gallant. But we got into a conversation today asking us. I think he said
it came from like him and I went back and forth a little bit too. Do you know? I haven't heard anybody.
That is a question that needs to be, at some point, it needs to be asked.
Right. I felt like he was just trying to make a hot take where one did.
Yeah, it's a legit question. I just think it's not yet for it to be asked.
Yeah. Matt. But anyway, you two got into it.
Well, we didn't really get into it. I just said, look, man, I don't think now's the time to, obviously Deshaun had 7 games last year and before his injury, but overall, like if he's better, Drew Brees or Peyton Manning back in 2004,
right?
A lot of people would have said, well, Drew Brees has a chance to really be considered Manning at the quarterback position.
Right.
I mean, if he wins a ring this year, which is very possible, and say, well, Peyton Manning's better than
with this.
No, I really honestly won Super Bowl, which I know we can't. I know we cannot. But I think if you look back at that Super Bowl, he really played, and his defense carried him. If you take away his Super Bowl, he's Warren Moon. He's had great seasons, put up great, and then he's a great quarterback. But I don't think he's as good as Drew Brees. I don't think he's been as good as Drew Brees over his career. He's been as good as obviously Tom Brady. He just, the guy has the commercials. He has the looks. He's in Green Bay, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. Something just, of course, I say that.
And then it times out.
I remember why he and won more titles and won more
because the whole thing around him were injured, and
I think for
Look
the
at
most
what the
part, say in his prime, because I don't think he's in his prime anymore. He had weapons.
oh, if he's not in his prime, then Drew Brees
I
definitely.
think I think Drew Brees has lived in his prime. I think Drew Brees is obviously on the tier. Fuck that guy. I'm into the dirt. Who cares? I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I switched it up. I'm not afraid of Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
How far are your Texans going to go?
oh my God. It worries me because he's inexperienced, and what he hasn't been able to do is pull himself. You can see it on the TV. 3-12 for 7 game is doing. I don't know, man, because you don't have a slot receiver. Went to those guys, but they don't do it enough. Like I feel like
Because they're using them.
well, that I mean, at some point, you know, we've seen it happen.
Right.
I mean, not today.
Right.
I'm not there today.
Yeah.
So let me hit this crossing route, pick up the first down, move the chains, and then maybe eventually I'll get myself to a point where I can make that throw.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Do they win the division?
I think they win the division. I think that their remaining 2 games tomorrow.
Then the
Eagles, who are shutting down Carson Wentz, it seems like.
Dude, what? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, man. It's
Holy
crazy.
crap. Everybody knows, fan, and I have the absolute most hatred for the Eagles. But how do you run QB1 out there knowing he fractured his back and you don't tell him?
Yeah, man.
What is that?
Oh my
God. I mean, if that's true.
Talking about player safety.
Holy crap.
That's a no-no.
QB1 with a fractured back. Oh, go on out there, son. You'll be fine, pal.
Yeah. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Game of all things.
I mean, what would be funny is they shut him down. Nick Foles comes in and ends up somehow winning the division.
Dude, I said that earlier on Twitter. It's not like you don't have a guy that's Super Bowl.
What happens then?
So the remaining games for Texan is Jet, Eagle, and then
Jaguars. And they
should win all 3 of those.
We should win all 3. You're right.
Yeah. There's no excuse to. No, you shouldn't have, because they had T.Y. Hilton.
We cannot allow to catch another football. Whether you double team, triple team, whatever you got to do, Ebron, and I call him Pistachio.
Of course you did.
Not pick up 4 yards in crucial situations the way he did. I mean, come on, man. Hurt. He wasn't even healthy.
You know what's going to be sad is T.Y. is going to be at the end of his career and he's only going to play 2 games a year. And that's when they play the Texans. Right. And he's going to beat them.
And he's going to have like 500 yards receiving for the season and 4 touchdowns. It's ridiculous, man. Can we double team this guy?
Do something.
Can we put him in a box? I mean, it was ridiculous. And I mean, it could be Pro Bowl corners.
Right.
Because they're getting that help over the 2 seed. And
you
got
I'm scared to death of the Chargers.
I would take Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers.
Yeah.
Philly.
All you have to do is get Watson to the playoffs. And went out and handle our business and not have to worry about me losing to Hail Mary or,
Titan has to lose.
Titans and the Colts lose this week, and we have to win in order to play. Let me see here. Work.
Oh, that's a win.
So yeah, they're gonna.
That kid would be on.
Let's be realistic here. The Texans are more than capable of beating the Jets and then beating the Eagles, right?
Right.
And then totally shit against the Jaguars in the last game of the season.
You see who the Jags released today? Tied in, and they released their safety Barry Church.
Really?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, they
threw up the white flag.
That's right. I mean, they are favored. Oh no, they're not favored. They're favored against the Jaguars. 7.5 points. That's a lot.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Jacksonville.
4th quarterback in Jacksonville. And you're still. Oh man, that's.
And then we need to hope Seattle beat. To me, it's doable. I mean, this could end up a 2 seed for sure. I mean, there's a chance again,
has to happen.
but a lot has to happen. And like I said, I'm not gonna look at the other game, but I just want to see a win, you know, because like I said last week, man, when I see the Texans, Texans in their logo, and then I see that number, it's almost like they don't know how to click it up to 10. Like they don't know how to win that 10th game. You know what I'm saying?
Scary.
Yeah. But okay. Question of the night. Brought to you by me. Jadeveon Clowney, the second coming of Mario Williams.
And I think you resign him.
So you're biased.
Just not racist.
I mean, let's look at it. Let's be honest. First year, you gotta remember, whole first season.
That's right.
Mario didn't miss that.
Merciless. That dude was just on fire.
That's another thing. That is another thing. 3rd-and-1 against the Colts. Why do you have him? Why not have him standing up, moving around like they normally, usually do? Because that's really
like last week. They've got the personnel for defense. And they usually play us all.
Really.
Laptop in
a couple of weeks. JJ has been really. Clowney's been really quiet. Merciless has been really quiet.
Hold on, JJ hasn't been quiet.
You see, and that's funny because I can agree with that, but at the same time, I think there's a plug over there, right behind you. I feel like I'm hiking up a skirt on a JJ. No, here I'll plug that. On a JJ level, I think JJ's been quiet.
If you absolutely look at the tape, the guy is just tearing stuff up left and right. I mean, he's being disruptive. He needs some more help. He's getting doubled and tripled again.
You know what, man? Oh, this sucks. I can do this. Hold on. At some point, we need to stop talking about how JJ's getting double and triple team. We need to start talking about how other guys are starting to, because JJ's getting double or triple team.
Or shit, here, take that red part off.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Is it this guy's in position? I mean, if he's getting double and triple team, that should be making a play.
Right.
So yeah, that front seven really hasn't. I mean, they really didn't put all that much pressure on Luck either. Like they didn't make it uncomfortable for him.
I think JJ did on.
Saw him, able to climb the pocket and step out, and have happened. Like you don't take a time out there, Bill O'Brien. You don't take a time out there because essentially you gave the out and they used them all, and that was so. The whole clock management thing with Bill O'Brien, I'm so over that. I don't even, when it happens, just roll my eyes and say whatever. It's going to be wet run.
That's true.
But they were trash. They were trash. So you can't really, And his first couple of carries, if he's hitting the line scrimmage, I still want to.
Yeah.
But, off. So not only was Deshaun hesitant, but so was Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
And because you don't have a slot receiver, that spells disaster.
Could you put Thomas in the slot?
You put Nuke in but who's going to play the other out?
You need Nuke on the outside to stretch the field. You need a speedy slot.
He lines up in the slot. They don't. I mean, Bill O'Brien said he put out Joe Webb and it was unfair to Joe Webb.
Right.
They had guys that were better suited to do another wide receiver that they could have went to. Coates, off the top of my head,
I can't think of anyone else.
Nobody.
Though. Yeah.
Nobody. So
that's the kind of stuff that can bite you in the playoff.
Yep.
And Deshaun likes that.
Need that fifth corner.
Yeah.
And they'll put a linebacker on him.
Yeah.
And can he do work again? I thought, I really hope they're just saving those guys for the playoffs.
I don't think they're underutilizing them. I think they're I think it looks like they are because they're not passing for so much of that O line. That's just
Yeah, and that's a good point. It's
they went back to the traditional blocking tight end because they've had to, and the O line hasn't been to help with that.
Man, there was a game we were watching. Obviously, it was one of the game.
Ooh, we have breaking news.
What is it?
As part of a 3-team deal nearing completion, Ariza the Wiz Kelly sources say that's a wash bomb.
Because Ariza, he's played in Washington before.
That's right, he has.
Yeah, he's played in Washington before.
I forgot about post pre-Rockets run.
That was
I can't remember.
I think it's pre-Rockets run. I think he came from the Wizards.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, whatever.
Hey, right now, I tell you right now, I wish Ariza was a Rocket.
I said when they didn't sign, I've agreed to the terms that he signed with in Phoenix because I think, but
yeah, I don't think. Obviously, I don't think he is the guy to turn this whole or prevent it in the way it has for the Rockets. Because like I really think it would have been different had he still been here.
Right, I agree.
So anyway, back to the Texans and tight end talk. It was a Bronco game. And it was amazing to wild was.
Yeah.
But there was nobody running there.
Right.
It was almost like the Texans ran everything from the hash marks to the sidelines. There was nothing in the middle.
Quick out routes.
And we were watching it at work. So one of my coworkers said, man, you know, if they have a tight end chip instead of staying in block and release just right down the middle of the field, he was like, that's wide open. And when he said that, I started more and more and more. And sure enough, man, I was like, man, they just need to.
I wonder why they did that.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it was, I'm not real sure, but I pinned those sideline routes.
Oh, yeah.
Those quick digs outs. And those comebacks and those outs. They love for Deshaun to put the ball on the sideline for some reason. I don't know. But it's far to.
Can they get?
Oh, man. I think they're going to win their home game. Unless it's the Chargers, then I'll have some doubt. But if it's not Chargers, they win the 2 seed because the Texans will be the 3 seed. They go to Kansas City. I mean, you can win in Kansas City. If the Texans can win in Kansas City, it's more how are the Kansas City Chiefs going to lose in Kansas City this round of the playoffs, their first playoff game at home, because
a lot of state
like we saw last first. I don't think it has anything to do with coaching. I don't think it has anything to do with coaching. I don't think it has anything to do with effort or scheme or whatever. That stadium, man, things that happened when Marty Schottenheimer were there are happening now that Andy Reid is there.
Yeah.
And it's no different. It's all the same. And it's, you know, it's them building a 21-0 halftime lead against Tennessee. Up 14 points with 6 minutes to go last night, and facing a quarterback who doesn't have the cannon anymore, and allowing.
Yeah. How about that 2-point conversion to win it, dude? Wide open.
What a breakdown! That was.
You couldn't draw it up.
That was terrible, man.
And he saw the Scandrick that we saw the last year. Everybody else looking surprised and shocked. That's the Scandrick way.
And I mean, you knew
he blew the coverage.
He blew the coverage. He blew it. It was. I mean, it was, and it was funny because right before the play,
and they were still pointing at each other after the play.
They both jumped on the slant.
Yeah,
and it was all she wrote, man.
Yeah,
but I mean, to let Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, who are a talented team, to allow them to do that with less than 6 minutes to go in Kansas City. I mean, any team that goes in the second round, and that's even if they hold on to the 2 seed, because like I said, they go and play Seattle, a place where they could lose. I mean, that's not out of the question. If you're a team going in there playing the second round, I mean, you have pretty good.
Texans beat the Chiefs. I say no. Can they beat the Patriots? I say no. Can they beat Steelers?
Oh
I think yes.
I think they had an easier time. I think they would have an easier time beating the Chiefs than the Steelers, simply because right now the Steelers are all systems go for their wide receivers. They're skill set players. They're all there. They're all healthy. Juju Smith, Neil Brown. Today that Connor was coming back this weekend. He practiced fully today. I think I saw. Then they had the big kid, the tight end, the white dude. They always have a white tight end.
Yeah.
They're all systems go, whereas the Chiefs.
But there's one person who isn't all systems go.
Is that Roethlisberger?
And
is he not healthy?
He's not healthy. He got knocked out of the last game, man.
But that dude.
And him and Tomlin are on the same page. That's like
yeah,
Rodgers and McCarthy type issues right there.
Right.
I think if Texan gets to play Steeler loses. Until it on a regular, but I'm always going to give the upper hand to Belichick. I don't see them beating Chief.
I just think with if Roethlisberger 70 his weapon Texans because of the weak corner play, the sometimes sketchy front seven play.
But you see, his injury is his ribs.
They should sit him.
Exactly.
No, but we need him to beat the Patriots. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Because they're not as good.
Yeah.
Good as Connor for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. I'd pick to want to go to Kansas City and play Kansas City simply because of the things I just mentioned. But because on the regular, from year to year, a visiting team seems to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Right.
And I would play those odds. That's what I would be like, okay, I mean, it's been done for seems like decades. So and let's go get them, Texans. Let's go into Kansas City and play the game of your life.
It'd be a hell of an upset.
It almost feels like 2012. We lost to New England late in the season, and we would have been the 1 seed, right? Was it New England?
What year?
It wasn't New England. 2000.
Okay.
And then we didn't win a game the rest of the season, and we finished 12-4, right? That week was this could probably cost here in Houston. What do you know, man? They got lucky. The Chiefs lost. The Patriots lost in an incredible way. I mean, hey, that was the one time Bill Belichick had Gronk instead of Malcolm Butler, because Gronk obviously got outran, and then when he didn't feed, the way this season is ending, it feels a lot like how 2012 felt.
Yeah.
At the end, like all you gotta do is win 1 or 2 more games, and you may. But it's yet to be seen. I want to say in 2012 they lost a game like this game tomorrow, like they're going in against the Jets.
Yeah, it was a no-name.
2012 they played some team.
That could. What? I think you're right.
Right when Dan Orlovsky started for the Colts.
If you would have fixed your damn internet, Lamont,
no big deal.
So you use a crapshoot from there.
It all depends on where they have to play and who they have to play. Obviously,
What about Dell's Dolphins?
Oh, they're done, dude.
Yeah, they suck.
They're done. Like a legit quarterback, former A&M wide receiver at quarterback. They ain't gonna get a decent skill position as the wide receiver. They have a decent running back in Drake.
I would like Nick Foles.
Man, hey, I think Nick Foles would have done. I bet
maybe
Case Keenum would have done wonders for him this year.
Did Viking make the right move?
No, they have $2.
Yep. And they already had Matt Schaub 2.0.
That's all
cheap.
That's all Kirk Cousins was Matt Schaub 2.0. Yeah. So no, they didn't. They did not do so. I mean, you want to do this again next week?
Let's do it.
I'm off.
Hold on. Next week is Christmas. You know what? I certainly can.
Next week is not Christmas.
Let's call an audible, because next Friday is the 97.5 Christmas party.
Do it.
Let's tentatively we'll know by 5.
If you want to do it on Tuesday or Thursday, let me know.
Okay.
And I'll work on this Ethernet connection. So I'll get it in here this week. I'm off. I'm off until they've gone to sleep. And so they're no longer using the internet. So it's probably being all funneled into us now. It's probably what's going on.
You need a good router.
Yeah. And I think we got a good router. I don't know.
What kind of router you got?
It's crazy because we have the boosters. We have the boosters everywhere.
That's not boosting.
I know. I think it's what you said earlier. They're screwing me.
Cartoons, Dell.
Hey man, Dell
is what?
Bill?
Yeah.
Why? Thursday, sometime next week. We'll do this again, man.
Yeah.
And
good.
Already found it. So
I'm watching it right now.
No,
but you can find it.
But you can find it.
Hopefully.
So
there's